can't count any team out.
I mean, Cognitive, they're a solid team. They have qualified for the spring promotional in December or January, whenever they announce that date. So they're a solid team. They have a lot of potential. Can they bust it out, though? Can they take this victory? Can Captain Ziploc not go down here? Looks like it will be okay, but a very dangerous bush to walk through.
Now, for at least as far as the early game's concerned, we shouldn't be seeing too much of a strong presence other than just the ward coverage dropped by CompLexity in Cognitive's jungle. They're very safe to say, hey, we're pretty sure you're going to start here. We're going to ward it up just so they know what's going on early level 1, and that really just helps them plan out their later strategy. I'm really more interested to see how they want to play this 2v1 lane.
The 2v1 lane is going to be interesting. They need to shut down Mega Zero. They want iDream to get his Triforce. That'll be the big item. Or to get tanky very quickly so Mega Zero can't burst him down in one combo. However, early on, if Mega Zero and iDream lane together, it'll be a tipping point versus harass. iDream will constantly harass with spears. Mega Zero will look for that one moment, that one brief instance where iDream gets too far out of position and then punish him hard for that. It's a very skill-based matchup, and it looks like they're going to try and avoid it just because Nidalee can apply a lot more reliable pressure to Mega Zero early on. We actually see a 3-man invade going onto the blue buff. Cognitive, who have played very far back, they haven't put a ward down. They're not going to know it's gone, but they can try and make assumptions based off the movement of Thresh and Lucian.
All right, so Ziploc's going to take his red, but it's going to be Ninjaken to take the blue buff away for his first buff. He's level 2, and he's going to be heading back to probably his own red buff, but keep in mind it has been warded out. It's also going to be CompLexity's ward scouting Captain Ziploc making his way to CompLexity's blue buff. And now immediately you're going to see the death squad of Zaineking. Support Annie is on the case studio. He's going to go over there and at least harass Ziploc while he's, or not harass Ziploc, help Ziploc as...
What a rude thing to do.
I was like, why would you harass him? He's on your team. He's trying to pick up the blue buff. He's going to help him out, just provide a little bit of moral support as well as the strength provided by having a 2v1 lane in the bottom. Now we actually could look for a 3v1 dive. Is now going behind the turret. Stun prepped for Zaineking already. The shield. Ignite goes down. The burst damage. Zaineking taking up the turret. It's first blood going to Vi. The unfortunate demise of Zaineking as Mega Zero trades out a 1v1.
I mean, not the worst situation for him to get that trade. He barely hit level 2. His first thing to do as the dive star was to actually stall out, wait for a minion to die so he could get that next level. So, not the worst situation as Ziploc now, barely dodging the flag and dragon with the vault breaker, will be a-okay as Jarvan now. No cooldowns available, can't really go for that chase. A very, very solid initiation from Cognitive now. And they take the early control of the game. Oh.
So that...
Did you see iDream getting hooked there? He got hit by the death sentence, but he was by the turret. It couldn't pull him forward, so he didn't take any follow-up harass. How unfortunate.
Yeah, it was really rough to see that, just barely on the edge, and now iDream forced way back behind his turret. He just watched Mega Zero get a 1-for-1 in that 3v1 dive, and is now at a lot of risk of getting the same thing to happen to him. Zamphira, though, is actually going to come up there. If he comes the short way and tries to get in through the tri-brush, he will be spotted out. But as is, he's just going to back off straight back towards his lane. Either way, it's going to be nothing here. Very low. One more auto attack is enough to take him down, but it's not enough as nothing here will walk just out of range. 30 hit points gets him out of there, and that's the Mega Ken combo. Hard at work for CompLexity, giving Mega Zero an advantage in a 2v1.
Barely surviving. It does give a chance, though, for Mega Zero to farm back up. You know, get a little bit of CS, a little bit of experience, and he'll be able to at least survive in the bot lane for a bit longer. Captain Ziploc has room top lane with iDream. iDream, though, doesn't have the best harass right now. He doesn't have the best initiation. He is going for a bit of a hybrid Nidalee. Does have 4 AP from the AP penetration mastery. So he'll be able to survive topside, but he really needs to hit level 6 to be able to 2v2 efficiently, as we saw last game.
Now, as far as the 2v1 lanes are, it's going to be a 2v2 for now, as Ziploc is up there with iDream. Was scouted out by a ward. It's just going to walk in lane anyway, so no mysteries just to happen for right now. Mega's going to take a trip back to base, and with that early kill and pushing nothing here out of lane, you can already see there's a CS difference starting to develop. Play backwards. iDream takes a little bit of damage. The Light Slinger passive gets onto him, but already a lot of it engaged there by Ziploc. Gets exhausted. Trap will hit onto minions. There's going to be the dive behind the turret. Ninjaken there to tank things up. One more auto attack, and it's Super to tank up a couple of turret shots. Will grab one with the barrier. There's the barrier from iDream. And now we're going to see if CompLexity can take down iDream without losing a member. It's going to be Ninjaken to deal the damage, take the kill, and back out alive. A nice 3v1 or 3v2 actually, trades away 2 for 0 in favor of CompLexity.
And unfortunately, that is just Nidalee level 4. What does she have available in her kit? The spear, the trap, the heal. Compare that to Riven, who's got her hops, Renekton, who's got his stun, his slice and dice, Rumble with a flame spitter. Just not a lot Nidalee can do in those early engagements, and as a result, that dive is very, very difficult to punish. CompLexity played it very well, though. Once they had the dive secured, once they saw that Nidalee was the only person left, they just waited. They waited until they could very easily get the Jarvan Flag of Drag combo onto Nidalee, and at that point, it was an easy, safe dive. Very well played from CompLexity, punishing that Nidalee pick.
Yeah, the Nidalee pick, it's not very good at wave clear. It's great at harass, but harass only really works if you're pretty confident it's only ever going to be a 1v1. And starting out in a 2v1, it's going to be Nidalee coming down in the bottom lane, wanting to jump onto nothing here. I'm not sure why he just immediately backed out. I felt like that would have been a good engage, but didn't know where the jungler was. And if Captain Ziploc had come into there, a 3v2, never really a fight you want to start.
Also, unfortunately, Nidalee was on a ward, and as a result, both nothinghere and Zaineking backed up immediately. So he knew something was up. He'd use his Flag and Drag combo to get into the brush. It was a sneaky avoid the ward style gank, but that brush is warded because guess what? Zaineking is not having any of that. He's seen it happen before. Why leave himself open to that? As now nothinghere gets initiated on.
He's gonna drop a nice stun there from Zaineking, hitting both Mega Zero and Nidalee. Just giving him the effective back off sign, and they will stay back for now. The aggression could come into the mid lane. It's gonna be Zamphira, drops the Glacial Prism, gets the knockup. Will we see Assault and Battery? It's gonna be Command Shockwave, completely whipping. Zamphira flashes through the turret, can't hit the Ice Shard onto Probably. Probably dodging away from that will take down the 4th kill of the game for CompLexity off of a little bit of over-aggression from the dive by Zamphira.
Captain Ziploc, unfortunately, not level 6 and near the Assault and Battery. He's just about to hit it too, so it wasn't that far off. We've seen this happen before, especially against Oriana's. Actually, nothinghere being initiated on the bot lane. Mega Zero going forward. Can they pick up Zaineking possibly? No. Looks like he'll be safe. The issue we've seen before is that, especially against Oriana specifically, is that Lissandra doesn't have very good base damage. She has decent damage. She can deal a lot of DPS, but compared to other assassins, especially at level 6, she does lag a little bit behind. She needs to scale up. The problem being that Zamphira didn't have the follow-up from Vi. We've seen it happen before where he initiates hard, can't get the kill, and as a result, gets turned around upon and either has to blow summoners to escape, or in this case, die.
For now, Mega Zero doing extremely well in the 2v1, and actually now it's a 2v2 as MIA now has kind of dedicated support. It's a 1v1. It's super. Taking on iDream. Will be able to trade with iDream and chunk that top turret down to about 700 hit points for now. Zamphira, looking for his second roam of the game, has that Frozen Tomb up in about 30 seconds, so could look for that cooldown to dictate when he wants to roam. Blue buff's up, and it's going to go to Zamphira. It's going to be a little bit longer for Probably to pick up one of his own, but having grabbed that first kill, you'll notice immediately very defensive buy in Mercury Treads and a Chalice of Harmony. Probably is all the way up to 88 magic resistance at 8 minutes into the game. Is not going to take any kind of damage from Zamphira.
He's not going to take any damage, and of course his Mercury Treads with a tenacity, very, very crucial in keeping himself alive, not just from the damage, but the CC as well. As you can see, Captain Ziploc in the mid lane looking for a possible gank. He should have been spotted out by a ward though, so probably should be aware of that. And it's going to be a hard gank. He'd actually back on off. It's going to be hard gank no matter what though, because of the extra magic resist that comes from Command Protect, the shield from Command Protect, as well as the just mitigation probably he's built up for himself. He's built himself to be such a difficult person to stop mid lane. Oriana is someone that people generally try and focus down because she's relatively gankable and she scales so well in the late game.
That's going to be an early game down in bottom lane as MIA beset from all sides, drops the box. Can he get away? Nice play backwards. Red buff ticking down. Can he get out of this last hit from nothinghere comes out? It's going to be Mega Zero trying to get onto Captain Ziploc. Will he be able to find the Wind Slash in time? No, he's going to flash in for a Broken Wings underneath the turret, trying to get a cooldown of the Valor. Not brave enough, and it's going to be a double kill for nothinghere.
Solid pickup, still 1.3k in favor of CompLexity as they do pick up the top turret in the meantime. iDream unfortunately just cannot hold it, but that was a very, very difficult engage. Mega Zero has this very high base damage as Riven, especially before, you know, level 9, level 10 when people start buying their first big mitigation items. So it was a scary engage to let Mega Zero get those auto attacks off, but too much maneuverability, a fantastic juke from Captain Ziploc as well. Let him survive that Blade of the Exiled Wind Slash. This is a very even game right now. It's only 400 gold in favor. Trooper is scaling well, but Trooper is on a late game carry. Is probably misses the ultimate. Zamphira really try and turn this around.
There's going to be Zamphira taking a lot of damage underneath the turret. Nidalee piece the scene. There's the culling to come out. Can't quite find anything just yet, but I love the difference in bullets from the skins on Sheeper's Lucian. But either way, it's going to be a little bit of a all for naught there in the mid lane. Keep in mind, Zamphira also had the ability to throw a Frozen Tomb on himself and just keep himself alive that way. So not quite the dive complexity we're looking for, and rather than overcommit, they do back off for now. It's 1-to-1 in turrets, only about a 500 gold lead for complexity, so while it may look like they're having more successful plays and opportunities out on the map, Cognitive are just staying even.
It's very, very equal. Dragon now being looked at, complexity won't back themselves. This is going to be on. Normally you expect first Dragon just be eaten up alive by complexity. They're a team, especially with a lot of Mortis, that's always focused on this, so seeing them lose first Dragon is a bit scary. Stunned, it does go on to Nidalee. There's that dark passage.
Yeah, Dark Passageway. I like to think that Dark Passageway, if that were part of a story, would be possibly the worst ending to any book. It's like, and something's about to happen, but it just doesn't because Dark Passageway. So either way, MIA. I mean, you have to be happy that Nidalee gets out alive, and maybe that can be like the heartfelt reunion at the end, but it doesn't make for very easy kill opportunities.
Like if at the end of Titanic, Leonardo DiCaprio just flew away back to the mainland. And it looks like that Titanic boat's going to be heading towards that mid turret as Cognitive going for a bit of a push. They're grouped up. It's 5v4, but this does leave Mega Zero a chance to sit up topside and just try and push that wave in. And Lily will be heading back there. It does have a Phage of her own, but still doesn't have the 2 kills. It doesn't have the CS that Mega Zero does, and as a result is very, very far behind the item. It's going to be a hard lane for him to stay alive in if he does ever push out.
Mega Zero assists for now. He's been picking up kills in just 1v1s so far, and it's been interesting to see the way that his lanes have worked. He started out in a 1v2, then it was a 2v2 with Thresh, and now he's in finally a 1v1 against iDream, but iDream gonna be running a little bit of a hybrid Nidalee. Does have 9 points in the magic penetration masteries as far as that's concerned, but Mega is just all offense built into that Riven, and he's pushing down onto iDream, who's able to keep the minion wave off of the turret, which is about all you can hope for right now. Mega's Riven, we all know, best Riven NA. We'll see if he's enough to take on iDream's Nidalee, which has shown to be incredibly strong over the course of NACL.
Gold very, very even right now. Zamphira, it looks like he's going for the early Deathfire Grasp. He's still relatively far off, about 2,000 or so gold. That's going to be the major item for Zamphira. If you can pick that up quickly, all of a sudden his ganks get much more powerful. Especially factor in that a lot of iDream's damage, even in Cougar form, is magical. So he can gank with him efficiently. Caitlyn not so much, but Zaineking will benefit quite a bit from that DFG. And that's going to be the big holdout right now for Cognitive.
So you're saying that for Cougar form, damage is magic?
I believe the W is magic, the pounce, and the strike. The actual execute is physical still. So there's a lot of mixed damage in Italy.
I think by the transitive property, that would make damage friendship, which is turning out to be also magical. But either way, the push into the middle lane, it's probably MIA. And now Nidalee really want to put some damage onto this middle turret. Can't quite make it happen just because of immense wave clear. Zamphira's got that lane on lock, and over, I think, the course of 3 attempts to dive through the turret, hasn't quite made it possible. There's the culling. Nothinghere finally hits, or Trooper finally hits a couple of those shots onto Nothinghere. There's going to be a flash over the wall. Box not landing. The play backwards, and Nothinghere gets exhausted. No damage to come out. MIA to take the turret. Now it's a dark passageway back out once again. Clean and clear dive there. Trooper gets the kill. Now it's iDream being beset by Mega Zero in the top lane. Trades a little bit of damage back, but even still, it's going to be assault and battery by Ziploc onto Brawley. Command Shockwave does almost nothing, and it's Brawley's untimely demise at the hands of Zamphira. That's going to be the flashes, Ice Tomb all over. Nidalee tries to flash away, cannot escape, and it's a double for Zamphira in the mid lane.
Oh my god, Nidalee getting outplayed. Zamphira dodges a flag and drag, puts the Glacial Path down first though. So immediately dodges the flag and drag into the CC and finisher onto Brawley. Goalie now going to swing just barely in favor of Cognitive. That was an incredibly good 3v2 gank there. But you're seeing the potential from Ziploc and Zamphira. They're both two very aggressive players. With the assassination potential on Zamphira, combine that with the catch potential from Assault and Battery, You've got very high damage, very quick bursts of damage coming in onto anybody who's caught out of position. In that case, it was also Nidalee. Nidalee has fallen very far behind, 45 CS, only level 8, the same level as Thresh. Captain Ziploc has also fallen behind, but to his chagrin and his luck, Zaineking is the same level as him, and is level 9 instead of 8. So the junglers have fallen a bit farther behind, and you're seeing that at this point, Vi with her base kit and the shield has a little bit more DPS, a little bit more burst, which matters more in these fights, because Jarvan is just a bit too squishy to tank and really go for that sustained Jarvan DPS.
It's going to be the mid turret finally falling at long last for CompLexity, and as soon as Probably positions the ball right in front of Ziploc, that's not necessarily something he wants to lock away, and so we'll back on off for now. It's going to be mid turrets traded away there. I love that comeback, and the double kill for Zamphira just really kind of set the tone for the way that he plays that champion. A little bit over aggressive early on, led to an early death, but able to bring it back now with a Deathfire Grasp complete as the first item. And this is about the most opposite style of Lissandra play you can possibly get. While a lot of Lissandras love going for a Zhonya's Hourglass to extend the invulnerability afforded to them by their Frozen Tomb, Zamphira is going for the Burst Mage build, where you hit somebody with a DFG, and from there on, you just lock them down and take them out as offensive as you can possibly get. And so, has the ability to blow up almost anyone except Probably, who not only has magic resistance from the Athene's Unholy Grail, he's going to get it from Mercury Treads, as well as Command Protect, which even though still level 1, does afford him 10 magic resistance as well. There's going to be immediately Zamphira jumping over the wall. Not enough damage to quite take out Probably, but it's the Assault and Battery that dunks him home. Super looking to trade some damage back away for CompLexity, with Mega Zero coming in from the side. Won't be there in time. Nidalee, can he find the engage? Not willing to jump into the entire enemy team. Great decision making there, Nidalee. I approve. But either way, CompLexity, they're going to lose Probably out there. Now it's a re-engage from Cognitive. Chuper's going to get pulled out there by the Dark Passageway. Mega Zero just dunks on Zamphira. It's MIA to pick up the last hit. But now it's going to be iDream flashing onto Chuper. Force the flash away over the wall. The re-engage onto Captain Ziploc. Mega Zero's getting in there with the damage. A spear flashed away from Mega. Does not auto-attack the Wraith Camp for his untimely demise and gets out alive. One more auto-attack, but no, it's a death sentence by MIA that actually delays Nothing Here from the chase. And with a flag and drag over the wall, Nidalee will make his way out of the fight alive.
I mean, 3 people flash and dead, lots of flashes burned defensively just to get out of that fight for CompLexity. They do pick up that kill, make it a 1-for-1 exchange at the end, and while the turret is not killed, Dragon will be picked up by Cognitive, so they will be able to secure a little bit of a lead this game, but very, very defensive play. Unfortunately, Zamphira and Captain Ziploc seem to be on a different page for a moment there. Zamphira initiated hard onto the entire enemy team. Compare that to Captain Ziploc, who went back a little bit more defensively.
So for Captain Ziploc, the biggest thing to watch out for is going to be the way that he engages. That time, he actually went really deep into the enemy team, and while he was able to pick up a kill, he really wasn't there to peel for the back line, and while Nothing Here at a very strong position, even chasing Nidalee all the way back. It's still the kill advantage for CompLexity, as they always seem to come out positive in these team fights, and with a couple of huge power spikes coming their way in the Trinity Force, first item now complete for Chuper, we've seen a lot of different Lucian builds, and even though Don't Mash Me is no longer on Team Curse, he was very innovative in figuring out all kinds of crazy stuff to do with Lucian, and it was really smart, really intelligent, but never actually did the Trinity Force, which is kind of interesting too, now that he's unfortunately not on Team Coast, not in NACL anymore, to see that almost exclusively Lucians have chosen to go for the Trinity Force. Any reasoning behind that change, Studio?
It's all about the early game aggression. Lucian's become this champion that is defined by the early game. And for most AD carries, there was some of that. You know, Misfortune, she's better in early game, but she has great late game with her team fight still. Graves, he still has that good burst. Lucian is mostly about that early game and actually initiation in the jungle. Captain Ziploc in a lot of danger.
And it's going to be Ziploc very low, but he's going to make it his way to the back. The culling comes out. It's actually remarkably effective. There's going to be a death sentence onto iDream. Pulls Mega over the wall. MIA in a lot of trouble. Finally gets taken out there. And Zamphira makes the ice path back out. But Chuper on a killing spree. Wind up trading 2 for 2. CompLexity wind up coming out ahead because, of course, they will be able to probably actually take down this top turret. Nothing Here's trying to come in from the side. Gets lit up by Chuper through the night. The Fog of War forces him to take the long way back around, and it will be the 4th turret of the game falling for CompLexity.
I mean, this game is incredibly even. The catches for one team never means it's a one-team fight. Like this last engagement, that was a fantastic catch in the jungle. Two members of Cognitive out on their own, still turned into a 2-for-2 though. And the last fight before that, Cognitive got their own catch on a Prolly, and it turned into a 1-for-1 in the end. So teams, even though they're getting catches, even though they're getting picks, these teams are incredibly even. We'll see how this scales into the late game though. Prolly has finished his Haunting Guys. There's something we've been seeing a lot out of Orion, especially if they go Mercury Treads. But they pick up the Haunting Guys to try and shred the magic armor of the squishies, because Oriana is much better at killing squishy targets rather than those tanky characters, because it tends to take a while for her to build a Void staff. So just go for the squishier guys early on, like Nothinghere, like Zaineking. So if you can get that Haunting Guys, and now can go for a Rabadon's Death Cap, most likely, he'll be an incredibly strong AoE force. Because Zonia's, he'll be able to survive, and Ziploc will catch Super chilling on his chair.
Super with the red buff doesn't really have a whole lot to worry about. Does make it out alive. MIA there for a little bit of extra moral support. Now it's Cognitive looking to take down a top turret of their own, and do have the wave clear sufficient to do it with the Ziploc behind the turret. CompLexity are just going to be completely content to give this one away. They are 2 turrets in the lead, and you need a chance to sort of take some pressure off themselves. So they give up a top turret, but they get a chance to buy it. They get a chance to come back from base with full health. Probably shoved out the bottom lane, is sitting at only about a 10 CS advantage over Zamphira. It goes back, picks up a Haunting Guys, and as well as Home Guard boots for those Mercury Treads is this top turret, secondary turret in the top lane for CompLexity. Not having a good time, down to half health. A lot of souls just picked up there by the Dark Passageway. It's actually Ziploc now retreating as CompLexity, 5 men strong in the top lane, look for a fight.
They can't go for an aggressive tower dive because of the Dark Passage, because of the many forms of defense in Command Protect, in Command Shockwave, and if they dive Prolly, they might kill him, but they'll probably lose their entire team in the process. So this is right now just Cog looking for poke, looking for a little bit of aggression, just trying to find an opening. Looks like they won't find it though. They've taken a bit of harass, and it's going to be a very even lane for the most part. If CompLexity steps a bit too far forward though, don't be surprised by just heavy engage from Cognitive onto them.
Alright, now iDream's up to about 50 AP between having those masteries as well as the 30 from Trinity Force. So as a decent amount, it's going to give him the ability to sustain just a little bit. Ninja Ken looking for the engage. Dunks onto both Zaineking and Ziploc, doubly locking them up. It's going to be his Tippers, 2-man stun there. His Command Shock not going to hit onto almost anyone, only catches Zamphira. Now it's iDream actually trying to get it onto Prolly, but Bruiser Nidalee somewhat less effective than you'd expect. Now Prolly shields himself up, makes it back underneath his turret alive. Super barely alive at the end of that. Stays in there, throws out the culling, can't catch on to Zaineking, will finally fall at the hands of Prolly. Double Golems will get massacred at the end of that fight by Chuper, and manly though it may be, makes it out alive. A 1-for-4 exchange, losing only Mega Zero.
And a huge play from MIA. He actually interrupted the pounce mid-air from iDream that would have killed Chuper, that would have possibly ended the fight, maybe in a 3-for-2. Could have been a lot worse for them, but successful play stops the pounce and just really solidifies that fight. They engaged hard on the Mega Zero who went forward, but the problem is in doing so they left Nothinghere out in the open. And Lucian, because he is, this mid-game really high DPS champion, if he's not taken care of immediately, he gets his sustained damage off, he gets his auto attacks off, and at this point it's too much to just ignore. Like for example, Nothinghere, you can kind of ignore him a bit. His auto attacks hurt, but unlike, let's say, a Vayne, he hasn't scaled super well. He hasn't gotten that last Whisper or finished upgrading that Zephyr yet. However, Lucian is kind of like Vayne in the sense that he gets damage very quickly, very early. If you don't take care of him early on in a fight, I mean, he'll just take control of the fight himself.
I just noticed that when Hired Gun Lucian goes back to base, he pulls up this huge recliner and sits in it before he takes the trip back home. Yeah. That is the most boss thing I've ever seen. So whoever thought of that idea gets a manliness medal or something or other, because Chuper, also probably eligible for one of those himself, is looking for an Infinity Edge to finish off after a Trinity Force. And while Chuper may have some bloopers, it's a Chuper Saiyan performance at 604 for him tonight. So it's kind of the same situation for Maple Street. They have their good games, they have their bad games, but when they're on fire, the heat definitely gets turned up in the oven that people should get away from if it's too hot, as well as possibly wanting to leave the kitchen because the degree of, I'm just going to leave that one where it is.
Yeah.
Either way, possibly the
that.
greatest metaphor of my entire life, studio. I've got plenty more where that came from, but don't worry.
And Lucian really has fit in with Trooper. That has been like his comfort pick as of late, and it's working out very well for him. Actually, might be a ban for him now in the future as well. Ziploc being engaged on. Are they going to go for this fight?
The Culling coming out remarkably unsuccessful at doing almost anything. Didn't quite catch them out. The way that the Culling works is it allows you to retreat from fights while still dealing damage, or it allows you to chunk people up while you're sieging turrets and they're forced to kind of stay around the turret from behind. But when they're just free to run away from them, there's almost no way that you can hit that onto anyone as evidence there. So an unfortunate Culling there. Still very strong performance. It's going to be Ninjaken trying to bully his way out of the jungle. There's going to be the knockup onto iDream. Where is the ball going to go? It's shielding Ninjaken currently. Does have Cataclysm available. Could look for an engage. Now Zamphira getting in there, poking just a little bit behind the turret. Probably wants to find somewhere to catch something out. Zamphira gets double crit there, taking down to about half hit points, and will be able to ice path himself away. CompLexity, knowing that they've chunked Cognitive's mid laner, do go for the chase, and will put the pressure back onto Cognitive.
I do love the play from CompLexity. They're trying to force 5v5. The thing with Cognitive is iDream is not a useful champion for team fights. Nidalee, AP Nidalee specifically, is great in team fights. AD, a bit trickier to use. Initiation might be coming out though.
And there's going to be the burst damage we're looking for. Mega Zero taking out Zamphira. It's a double kill there. The shutdown goes for nothing here. iDream, though, will be able to take out MIA, and Cognitive are turning this team fight around. Mega Zero a little bit over aggressive, and now it's Ninjaken and Mega, both incredibly low. Ninjaken takes the bullet there for Mega Zero. Mr. Tibbers getting in there, probably. Mega Zero running for their lives. Mega Zero, unfortunately, not a big fan of the burst. We'll take him out before he gets a chance to pick off anybody from CompLexity. It's a 2-for-2 exchange, but still CompLexity able to, not able to push in there onto the second mid-tier turret for Cognitive, and Cognitive, a great job at repelling the CompLexity push.
And they were able to push to it, just not necessarily past it. Nothing here might be able to squander Mega Zero's surprise attempt. The issue for teamfights for Cognitive is if they don't get the right target right away, which in this case it seems like it's going to be Chuper, possibly Probably, then the follow-up is just terrible for them. It's devastating. Actually, now Mega Zero being initiating on Nothing Here. Nothing Here, can he get away from this?
And
no.
there's the
No, he
Culling
cannot.
to take him down. Culling claiming its first victim of the game, and Nothing Here a little bit overstayed his welcome, and Chuper able to get there and take him out in time. Now, granted, I don't think he needed an ultimate to pick off Nothing Here, but still, damage is damage, kills are kills, and that is the 7th kill of the game for Chuper so far. Does have his Infinity Edge completed after a Trinity Force, and with plenty of gold in his pocket, probably is going to go for Last Whisper coming up next, but still a lot of different itemization choices. Could go for Bloodthirster, which is oftentimes the first item that Lucian's build, but going to be picked up a lot later on for Chuper.
He could go for a defensive item right now. A QSS would stop Lissandra's ultimate, but it wouldn't stop Vi's ultimate. He could go for a Randuin, which would stop Vi's damage, but it wouldn't stop Lissandra's. Now, iDream being initiated on in a bit of danger. Going to have to head towards that brush to try to get away from that. Should be safe, though. It's going to be interesting to see if he goes defensive or offensive. They did initiate on him last time, so they know he's a major threat. Will they keep that up, though? Will Cognitive keep going for the Lucian pickoff?
Now, the consistent pick-off attempts, it's not necessarily trying to catch somebody out in the jungle. It's like, okay, you get 5 people together, you shove down mid lane. We retaliate and push you off our turret. And then you retaliate and stop us from retaliating to your retaliation. And it's just back and forth, up and down the middle lane. Haven't seen a whole lot of a variation. There's going to be Command Shockwave, pulls it, Nothing Here. But immediately, the Glacial Tomb on to Chuper, pushing back in the back of the fight. He's still alive on top of Captain Ziploc, who's trying to get away with the last bit of his hit points. Doesn't make it through. It's iDream, the sole member of Cognitive, left alive, tries to pick up a kill onto MIA with a nice flay backwards. Keeps himself alive. Death Sentence over the wall spear. Not going to land, but the Death Sentence will pull him back in. iDream survives, but the rest of Cognitive not quite so fortunate as CompLexity wind up trading 1 for 4.
Chuper luckily able to get the Relentless Pursuit off as the frozen Tomb hit him. So he got frozen, he got stunned, but it did not matter because he moved right away at the start of the fight. So he was safe. Probably himself was not the focus of the engagement. This was fantastic initiation, forcing Nothing Here to either fight at low HP and risk being picked off, as was the case, or to go back to base to heal. So they initiated well, they forced the pressure, and just good play from Chuper kept himself alive, despite the frozen Tomb hitting him.
CompLexity very, very low, but still with the opportunity to take down the Baron, not stolen away there by iDream. But now they actually have to get away. This is the same situation that iDream picked up a quadra kill in previously. It's a little bit later on in the game, but still trying to check out Nidalee will disengage successfully. And Baron buff on all 5 members of CompLexity, as long as they can make it back to their base to heal before Cognitive can force an objective.
iDream now being initiated on by MegaZero. iDream not able to really win out this exchange, and MegaZero just backing off, waiting for some cooldowns. I mean, at this point, Riven is ahead by 5 kills. She has a global gold behind her as well. iDream is behind by 20 CS. It's a rough matchup for Nidalee anyways, even if they're equal. And now that Nidalee has fallen behind, he cannot touch MegaZero. Riven is just too powerful for the duelist Nidalee at this point in the game. Nidalee needs to play that far back, long lane oriented fight in the brush style game, and it's just not going to happen. Mid now being looked at by CompLexity. They can take this mid turret, no one really around to defend it. Can they take anything else though?
Yeah, Mega's gonna grab that one away, just really capitalizing on a little bit of a lack of positioning. Cognitive went to push out their side lanes and left nobody mid, and that's MegaZero. Gonna get locked up there by the Ring of Frost. Will disengage. Now it's Nidalee joining up with the rest of CompLexity. 5 members strong. They could just take this mid turret before anyone responds. It's gonna be a Timberstone lands only onto MIA, who will probably go down. There's gonna be the Glacial Tube on to Brawley. Gets locked up, the ace in the hole. Will it be enough? But no, gets canceled as MegaZero just dunks on nothing here. Zaineking down, Zamphira down, Ziploc dead, and iDream, the only one left alive. One last auto attack is all it's going to take. Spear trades back away, but does not find on a trooper. And once again, a 1 for 4. This time, MegaZero stays alive. A notable improvement over most of the CompLexity's other team fights, but with a Baron buff giving them regen. 4 members still alive, and only iDream to defend. CompLexity looking to close out the game.
You gotta make the plays. You gotta make the plays right now. The GG calls are coming out, though. Looks like iDream not gonna go for the defense. This would be a hell of a defense to win this 1v4, but it looks like it will not be happening as CompLexity will be taking game number 4 of the night. Let the dust settle, let the explosion kind of relax, as CompLexity played a fantastic game. Overall, very even. I love the early game for this, but once it really started taking control of team fights, it was that one fight in the top lane where a trooper was able to pick up, I believe, a triple kill, and iDream was the only survivor. That's really what turned it around, as at that point, Lissandra wasn't doing quite enough damage to pick people off, and once an assassination comp starts to fall behind, especially when you have Nidalee, who's not really an excellent team fighter, it gets very, very hard to come back in situations like this.
And that's going to do it for our last game of the night and the last game of week 5 of NACL. We've been through 5 weeks so far.